Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up, oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fast and Fun Green Mountain Girls Truck League. Tonight we are in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. We are here for the Veterans Day 150. Tonight you will get to see a lot of patriotic schemes. We'll talk to several veterans in the field. We'll talk about some of these families, some of these guys out here running that had family members that are veterans. So tonight's a very important night. There's several first responders, several veterans, as I mentioned, so this is very important to all of them. So we want to make sure that we show that these guys really support their country and support their military veterans, and we want to make sure to say thank you to everyone who has served. The guys are out qualifying. We've got just 3 minutes left to go. A couple of things different tonight, though. For one, we have a Mr. Grant Enfinger in the field. You may recognize that name because he is a real-life NASCAR truck racer. He races in the Gander truck, and he was running for the championship. I believe he finished 4th this season. He is in the field, and I would imagine that this race is far more important than that one in Phoenix was last week to him. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's not, but it is great to have Grant with us. We've known he was going to show up for 1 or 2 races this season. We were really excited, looking forward to that. They are doing a 150-lap race here at Nashville, 60-lap first stage, 90-lap second stage. Now, this track is new to iRacing this season. It came out just a couple months ago, and it's a handful. This is the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, not the Nashville Superspeedway. It is a bit different than your standard track. It's older, it's bumpier, it's slippery. These guys in practice were talking about the fact that it is loose getting in, it is tight getting in and loose getting off the corners. Cup cars have the same problems here. So it is a difficult track. However, the boys have a little bit of a surprise, or had a little bit of a surprise tonight. If they can go with less than 6 cautions tonight, they get a special bonus race down the line. here in a week or two, where they will get to race for real money. So these guys are going to be pushing pretty hard tonight. Now the track is 0.596 miles long, just under 0.6 of a mile. 18-degree turns, 3-degree straightaways. That's your banking for tonight. That these guys will have to navigate. But like I said, number one is it is a bumpy track. Number two is pit road. We'll feature it here later on in the race, but as you see, you come off that pit road, the pit road and the pit road exit is actually off camber, or opposite camber to what the track is. So it actually banks downward as it goes towards the track. Makes for some tricky pit exits. And if we get a chance, we'll look at the pit road entry and we'll see that in and of itself, that is under green, next to impossible to enter safely. So as they're finishing up, and we'll be getting ready to go green momentarily, we're going to go over the lineup for tonight. In the front row, we've got Brian Lorenzo, Nathan Meyer, Robert Lawrence, Kevin Kirchar, Sheldon Pearson. They're your top five, followed by Craig Janzik, Russ Kilgore, Richard Fornshell, John Thacker, Brandon Ball round out your top 10. Grant Enfinger is 11th. James Harris, Daniel Starner, Eli Childs, Michael Potter, Kyle Spees, Jay Culp, Stephen Clegg, Jonathan Diamond, John Fix. That rounds out your top 20, followed by Stephen Pleasant 21st, Stephen Madden, Gary Lynch, Garth Snyder, Robert Wynn Jr., and Robert Wynn Sr. round out the field in 5th and 6th place. As we work our way back, we're seeing these guys get loaded into their trucks, get ready to go green. You will see quite a few patriotic paint schemes out here tonight. You'll see several, I think almost every branch of the military is represented. And I do believe we also have some back the blue paint schemes. We have some just American flag paint schemes. So we've got a lot to support our veterans. And we are very grateful for these guys to change out their regular paint schemes, their regular sponsors, to run these paint schemes here tonight to support their fellow drivers and all the veterans. Take a look at some of the cameras as we look down the starting lineup. As they're getting ready to come out, you'll notice that is the pit road exit, and as they start to come out, we'll stay with this view and try and show you the little bit of weird banking. So if they have to pit under green, they are going to have a heck of a time entering pit road, and they are going to have a heck of a time exiting pit road as well, because you can get penalized if you get above that yellow line. Let's see if we can find, right there is the exit, and you can almost not quite tell right there that between those yellow lines actually banks towards the part of the track. So it's wanting to force the truck to go out onto the track before they're supposed to. As we start to roll out here, we see the 91 truck, Kevin Kirchar in that champion truck. I'm having problems speaking tonight apparently. And there is our leaders, Brian Lorenzo and Nathan Meyer. These two will lead them down for this 150 lap race. Again, they will have a stage break at lap 60 if we don't have another caution in that before then or right around that time. If they do, they will use that caution. We'll get to see the pace car duck on pit road next time by. You get to see that pit road entrance just a little bit. And we do, as we have the last couple of weeks, we've got Matt, Race Control, with us. We'll be able to chat to him a couple of times during the race tonight, as well as some of these drivers. So that'll be definitely something to look forward to. As we see him coming out of turn 2, going down the back straightaway, do want to mention that the points has changed dramatically since last week. We'll talk some more about that later, but this week James Harris is on top, and Robert Wynn Sr., as we see the pace car duck off, is moved up into second place. As they come down, here they come. The green flag is out, and Brian gets a huge jump down into turn one. Brian gets a big jump, but we might see some guys struggle coming off of two. Everybody seems to get through clear first time by. Brian had a really good run down into turn one. It looked like the 24 had caught up to him just a little bit there, but looks like he is starting to open that gap back up again. And again, we just want to point out, as we have in the weeks past, you'll notice that green stripe sometimes will be in close enough you can see that it reads Green Mountain Grills. That is the series sponsor. If you need to get a new grill for the upcoming holidays to grill your meals, definitely check out Green Mountain Grills. They are the ones to go with. And we are seeing the 24 close in for the lead, Nathan Meyer. As we drop back here, we see in the back part of the field, John Fix. John Fix is one of our veterans tonight driving that Army paint scheme. He is an Army veteran. I want to thank him for his service. And we will start working back our way back up through the field. And who do we have here in the number one? Kyle Spees running the Air Force paint scheme tonight, I believe that is. And we see the 13 champion truck in front of him running a American flag scheme as well. These guys are actually taking it pretty easy at the moment. I'm rather impressed we've made it these 7 laps without a caution, as we see that number 98 truck falling into line there. That would be Mr. Grant Enfinger. He is in 13th right now. I would imagine we won't see him back very, very far tonight. Brandon Ball in the number 17. He's currently in 10th, holding his position well. And there's the number 8, Sheldon Pearson, back to blue. That was actually painted by James Harris for him. James Harris, being a police officer himself, really proud of that paint scheme, and he did a really great job on that one. Number 28, Miller Genuine Draft of Russ Kilgore. And we move up to look at the number 90, Richard Fornshell. Richard Fornshell is actually active duty Air Force. Although, as he likes to point out, he does not do flying, which is the most commonly asked question he gets. And he's got the USO on the hood of that truck as well tonight. Kevin Kirchar in 5th place currently. Craig Janzik. Want to definitely point out Craig Janzik. Craig's grandfather, Ralph Silner, was a Korea War vet. He wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to VFW Post 5207 in Daleville, Pennsylvania. I believe that's where his grandfather was at when he was still with us. And he was extremely proud of his grandfather and the service he had for his country. And he is also celebrating this week. His dad is retiring this week. Dad, John Janzik, is retiring this week, I believe tomorrow. So congratulations to him. When Craig talks about his dad and his grandfather, you can tell there's a lot of pride in that family, and he's very proud of what they have accomplished in their lives. He said as he gets into the back of the 73, it looked like Brian just checked up a little bit. Craig tried to get out of it. He said he was winning it for his family tonight, Craig did. So I expect to see him moving as we see him moving under Robert Lawrence. The 73 got a little bit of damage on that back bumper. That might actually help him get out of the corners a little bit better. As we mentioned, these trucks struggle going into the corner. You'll see them try and push up. They start to slide up, and then when they start to get the power back down right about that where that white line is, the back end wants to kick out. So it is a fight all the way around this track. These guys will not get a moment's rest tonight. Every green flag lap is a fight with that truck to get it around and not get into trouble. We'll go up to the 24 truck of Nathan Meyer, currently leading, and he has checked out from the field. He's got a 1.1 second lead over Brian Lorenzo and Craig Janzik. It looks like, just looking at some lap times, currently the fastest person on the track is Craig Janzik. He is definitely driving his heart out tonight. Got to talk to him a little bit last night about this race. He was really looking forward to it. We're going to work our way back and see if we can find the trucks of the father and son team of Robert Wynn Sr. and Jr. We see quite a pack going through here. That's the 56 of John Thacker, battling his way up. He was started in 9th, working his way up, trying to get to 7th. Got a little loose coming off the corner, and it looks like we've got a couple guys looking to take advantage, including that 98 of Grant Enfinger dropping down to the low side. They're getting a little bit dicey, doing a little door banging. This is short track racing at night, folks. I expect to see a lot of door banging, but a lot of these guys are really good at hanging on to these trucks in this short track conditions. So don't expect to see a lot of cautions. They definitely have the incentive to keep it going tonight, keep it green. We're 22 laps in, still green. Oh, caution is out. Work our way around the field and see if we can... It looked like we had a truck on pit road. That is the number 9 of John Fix. Not seeing any other damaged trucks. We do see him ducking onto pit road, and I did say earlier that it is difficult to get onto this pit road, especially it's difficult under yellow flag conditions, but it's even more difficult under green flag. Now, they started on one set of tires. They have 5 total sets of tires tonight, so after about 25 laps, they are all wanting a fresh set of Goodyears. And they are going to be trying to make those tires last as long as they possibly can. It looks like Grant Enfinger's already back off pit road. Maybe he just topped off on gas. Now, tonight is a little different as well because it's a short track race. Nashville's a little bit tricky. They do have 2 fast repairs for tonight, so that will definitely come into play as well. As I mentioned earlier, the points have had a bit of a shakeup this week. Not a ton. Looks like Grant Enfinger is back on pit road again. As we watch Richard Fornshell lead the pack around, we have James Harris is in the lead. Robert Wynn is in second, only 6 points out of first place right now. James Carroll and Craig Janzik are tied for third at 182 points. Stephen Clegg is in fifth with 173 points. So the top 5 are only separated by 19 points. Any one of these races could definitely shake this up. And I know we've talked about these gentlemen before, but we're going to go look for the 14th place car of Jay Culp. And it will be easy to find because there it is, the Marine Corps paint job of the number 88 of Jay Culp. Jay is an active duty Marine. And let's go see if we can find Eli Childs. Number 13 of Eli Childs. Eli is also a Air Force vet. Definitely want to thank him for his service as well. He's running that number 13 Champions American flag paint scheme tonight. We are at 1 lap to green, and these cautions will be short and fast tonight. There's going to be a lot of action. We are going to do our best to show you every bit of it we can. As we watch the number 24 of Nathan Meyer still leading this field. Looks like they delayed the green. And now we are getting the 1 to green again as they are lined up side by side. And we're definitely going to go find Robert Wynn Jr. and Sr. here in a few moments. They are both running they're running matching paint schemes for Robert Wynn Sr.'s dad, who's also Robert Wynn, but they have different middle names. He served 2 tours in Vietnam as a door gunner in the Army. So we want to thank him. Thank both of those gentlemen for running their paint scheme honoring Robert Wynn Sr.'s father. And the pace car is back out on the track. Looks like they had a little problem, and the pace car knocked the wall down to get back out there. Lights are still out on the pace car. We'll see if they get it sorted out. We got a couple of trucks stopped down there. Looks like there might have been a problem with the pit exit. You get an occasional glitch when you've got these caution flags, and it holds up some of these guys. They'll end up a lap down or get some sort of odd situation by timing, and it can come back and bite you. These guys are trying to sort it out and make sure everybody's right. And here we go. We're back under green. And the 90 gets a jump. Richard Fornshell dives off into turn 1, but that 24 down on the low line. Now, most of these guys said they want to run the middle line tonight. Not down there by that yellow line, but 1 lane up seems to be the best way around the track for these trucks. Seems to be the best way around this track in a lot of different vehicles. So we'll see a lot of these guys fighting to get that middle line. If you get hung up high, there's not a lot of grip up high, and it's wicked bumpy down on the inside. So they can get down too low, and it will send them around very quickly coming out of the turns. In fact, there's some decent bumps in turns 3 and 4 that can send you off kilter very quickly. And we've got a couple people in the chat that are veterans. We want to thank them for their service as well. And we are back under caution. As the pace car comes back out. And we are trying to focus in on Robert Wynn Jr. coming down out of turn 3 and 4. And look at those 2 trucks side by side. The father and son honoring the senior's father and junior's grandfather. And I apparently was not notified that Robert Lawrence is also a veteran, so we definitely want to thank him for his service. There is Robert Lawrence in that in the 34 truck there. Now we've been racing for about 36 laps and not a lot of changes. We've got a few people like James Harris, who's moved up from 12th to 8th. Eli Childs has moved up from 14th to 9th. Daniel Starner, haven't really talked about him. He started 13th and moved up to 10th. And our pro driver, Grant Enfinger, started in 11th. He's back in 15th currently. He might want to get some pointers for next year from some of these guys. Should probably talk to James Harris and Robert Wynn. They seem to be pretty dominant this season. Now, one thing we did notice in the pre-race, we were talking about getting ready for this race, is that we have not had a repeat winner yet this season. We're several races into the season. Nobody has repeated. We've had a different winner every week. Will this be the first week that we have a repeat winner is the question. As we come down now, speaking of the points, there is a 2-point bonus for the stage win, and there is a 1-point bonus for laps led. So currently you've got Nathan Myers and Robert Lawrence on the front row. They are both looking for those bonuses. Nathan Myers is definitely looking for that bonus points for leading the most laps and trying to get that stage win here in about 20 laps. As we see him come down, they're taking the green flag. The 24 gets another good jump, but Robert Lawrence is going to chase him down into 1. He's got the whole track available, and he closes the distance quickly. Already looking to the outside. As we go through 3 and 4, he's closing up again, but we're under caution yet again. We'll see if we can find... Hey, Matt, do you have a copy?
I do.
Hey, what brought us under caution this time around?
It looks like Culp turned the 22.
10-4, thank you, sir. Any comments going on the radio right now, concerns, or how's the race going with the drivers?
As of right now, it's just trying to get everything situated from people pitting and making sure they're lining up in the right way. I mean, that's the biggest concern at this point.
It is a short track. Looks like that is a bit of a struggle tonight.
Oh, that it is. So it's going to throw some interesting strategies into it.
I bet it will. We'll let you get back to work and try and talk to one of the drivers real quick.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was our race control, Matt. He is always there with us. And let's see. Hey, Robert, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're having a good race. You look like you've got a little bit of something for that 24 truck.
I think so, just as long as I can keep that right front underneath me.
Well, I didn't get it this week, but I just found out from the chat that you were served in the military as well. Is that correct?
My father.
Oh, my apologies. I'm guessing that is the reason for your paint scheme tonight.
Yes, sir. He was part of the Seabees back in Desert Shield.
Oh, wow. Well, very good. We'll
So-
thank him for his service, and thank you for running that paint scheme tonight.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Good-
Thank him as well.
Definitely. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Again, that was Robert Lawrence running that paint scheme for his dad. I apologize. I was mistaken on that. I am sure many of these guys have family members that they are driving their paint schemes tonight to honor, and we appreciate each and every one of them. And looks like we are getting the 1 to green. And it will be Nathan Myers and Robert Lawrence leading them down. And Craig Janzik started 6th. He's up there in 3rd, looking for a win. Looking to be the first repeat winner this season. Watch that pace car come down that pit road. That is a very tight pit road entrance. And here we go. Looks like Nathan got a big jump yet again. Robert's going to try and chase him down, but Craig Janzik already to the inside in 1 and 2. You can see that truck bouncing around coming through the bottom of 1 and 2. He's just trying to find some grip to make that pass. He's managed to move it up about half a lane right where he wants to be, but he's already got Kevin Kirchar in the number 91 trying to chase him down. Looks like the 73 might have gotten together just a little bit with the 91. 73's off pace down on the inside. 91 recovers. He's still going. Kevin Kirchar managed to move up into 4th even after a little bit of contact in there. Right behind him is the Green Mountain Grills truck of James Harris. And he's running his special American flag paint scheme for Green Mountain Grills tonight. As we see Russ Kilgore coming around. There's Russ. Took me a minute to find him. Russ started in 7th. He's hanging out there in about 6th. And generally speaking, we don't see much of Russ. He sits back there quietly in the top 10 and does quite well every week. Seen him sneak to the front quietly a few times. Nobody knows he's there, and at the last minute, they're getting past. Behind him, the 13 of Eli Childs. Again, he is an Air Force veteran and a hilarious guy. '56, John Thacker, currently running 8th. Daniel Starner running 9th in that number 35 truck. Brian Lorenzo currently running 10th. Almost saw a win out of Brian a couple weeks ago. Imagine we will see him moving back up to the front before long. He had that contact just a few minutes ago with the 91. He got it sorted out, lost a few spots, but he will be moving back to the front. He is always a contender. The 8 of Sheldon Pearson and the 1 of Kyle Spees. And we saw Kyle a lot last week. Well, we kind of saw him. He was in the fog, but he had a really great race last week. Despite all the fog and the difficulty seeing, these guys did a great job in California last week. And the number 1, Kyle Spees, is looking to make a move. He's trying to take that 10th place position away. And there is Grant Enfinger. He's moving back up already. He's up to 13th. Jonathan Diamond. He's started 19th, already up to 14th position. Stephen Pless and the 17 of Brandon Ball fighting for 15th position. Stephen started 21st in that number 69 truck. He's already up to 15th. But they have to battle the 84 there. Michael Potter starting to move up as well. There's the 22 of Stephen Clegg being chased by Richard Fornshell in the number 90 and the 88 of Jay Culp. It looks like we've got some cars damaged and we are under caution yet again. At lap 57, this is our stage break caution, folks. There was no accident on track. As best as we can see, it is just time for their stage break. Now, a lot of these guys, let's take a quick look through the field. A lot of these guys have been on their tires for 36 to 38 laps. When we get back up here, Nathan Meyer leading the field. A lot of these guys, by virtue of the caution, managed to keep from going a lap down, but a lot of these guys have made their first tire change. They made it about 40 laps ago, so they're 60 laps in, 90 more to go, and they'll only have 3 more sets of tires to put on. So they're going to have to be very careful and kind of stretch them. Some of these guys have probably been out here. Let's go see how Robert Wynn has been on his... he changed out tires 37 laps ago. He is not trying to stretch it tonight, apparently. As we see the 24 and 34 getting off pit road very quickly. And at the stage break, it's the 24 that gets the 2-point bonus. So Nathan Meyer gets an additional 2-point bonus for leading at the stage break. Just taking a quick look through the points to see. I'm probably Nathan Myers definitely using the bonus points. He is currently sitting about 33rd, but he is within reaching distance of the top 20 with a good finish tonight easily. So I imagine we will see some more points changing, especially with that 24 up front tonight. Robert Lawrence there on the outside. As we see the father and son team going by, Robert Wynn Jr. and Sr. Despite that, looks like they are on the tail end of the lead lap, so they're going to, when we get the one to go, they should get waved around back to the front, go past the pace car so everybody can stack up behind them, and there they do go. The leaders will stack up side by side right behind the pace car. As they come out of 2, they're waiting. Looks like the field is getting sorted out. Like we heard Matt say earlier, on these short tracks, it is a little bit tricky getting everybody lined up, getting ready to go. His pace car is ducking off. The 24 lights are back on the pace car. They did get a delay. And that is an odd game glitch. You're not seeing things. The pace car did drive through the wall. And yes, it's funny every time it happens. And Nathan Meyer is going up to hit the pace car. Apparently his crew chief, Harry Hogg, told him that he did everything else on the track and he wanted him to be perfect. And the pace car is going to duck back in. Looks like everybody's lined up. The 21 of Craig Janzik is right on the 24's bumper, trying to get a good jump with him, and they are off. The 24 does get a great jump going down into 1 and 2. As we see, the 34 is right behind him. And we talked to Robert earlier, and he said he definitely thinks he has something for that 34. But I know for a fact that that 21 truck sitting back there, he practiced over 200 laps at California last week in preparation for that race. There is no telling. I didn't even ask how many laps he had practiced this week, but he is going to be somebody to contend with when they get closer to the checker flag. And there in the 4th position, we see James Harris has moved up quite a bit. And he's got Kevin Kirchauer in the 91 right behind him. Eli Childs in 6th. Then we have John Thacker. He is in 7th currently running 7th. Russ Kilgore in the 28. He is currently running in 8th place. Again, he's one of those that just sits in the field quietly up towards the front all night, and then there at the end, there he is. And there's the 73, Brian Lorenzo. We saw him have a little bit of trouble earlier, got together with the 91. He is already back up to 9th, and he is charging towards the front. .35 Daniel Starner in 10th place, started 13th. He's on his way to the front. Brandon Ball in the 17 in 11th. Stephen Madden in 12th. We'll work our way back past Michael Potter, Sheldon Pearson. We see Sheldon Pearson at 8, back the blue paint job. Stephen Pless there in the 69. And he is definitely showing his support. All 4 branches of military are represented on the rear deck lid of his truck tonight. And in 17th place, Grant Enfinger in that number 98 truck. Looks like he might be having a little bit of a struggle with these guys tonight. Stephen Clegg in the number 22. Kyle Spees. Really surprised to not see Kyle Spees closer to the front already. But he is starting to make moves as we see everybody. See several cars going past the number 8 truck. Looks like the 8 might have had a little bit of difficulty. As we start to work our way back, the 26 and the 9, sorry, the 26 and the 69 are battling side by side. That's Stephen Madden and Stephen Pless fighting for 14th. And there's the 90. Oh, the 69 gets way loose. Coming out of turn 2. Can he hold on to it? The 98 of Grant Enfinger looks like he's ready to pounce. I would imagine that Stephen Pless might not want to make another mistake. Grant Enfinger is right there, and he will get around him one way or another. We work our way back toward the front where Nathan Meyer is still leading. There's the 13 of Eli Childs. So far tonight, he is the biggest mover. Started 14th, currently running 8th. The 44, James Harris, started 12th, currently running 7th. That's the number 68 of Gary Lynch. He is currently showing as 1 lap down. But next time they get a caution, he should be the lucky dog. should get that lap back, and we will definitely see him back up front before the night is out. We saw him up front a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. Kevin Kirchar currently started fourth, currently running fourth, had a little bit of trouble earlier, but he is not having any trouble now. Nobody challenging him from behind, and he is definitely running down some of these guys in front of him. As he passes the number 9, John Fix, who is a couple of laps down. There is the number 34 of Robert Lawrence. And look who has moved up into second. That is the 21 of Craig Janzik. Craig worked his way up into second. He is taking care of his stuff. That is what he is best at. Like I said, he put in 200 laps at a 2-mile oval of California last week, so you know he's put in a ton of laps in that truck here. And currently, he is both the fastest lap and is currently showing as having the fastest lap in the race so far by a significant amount. Nathan Meyer's fastest lap was an 18.42 second lap. Craig Janzik's fastest lap was 18.3. And Craig is easily a tenth of a second faster every single lap. As we see the number 91 moving up into third place, passing Robert Lawrence. That's Kevin Kirchar in the number 91. Looks like the 24 might be starting to see a little struggle there going through 3 and 4. The 21, however, is not. He powers, gets down low, and he's making a move. The 21 is moving to the inside, going for the lead, coming out of turn 4. He definitely has the advantage. Caution is out, and the 21 gets a little loose. There's a truck on the front straightaway. Looks like that is the number 16. We will try and see if we can figure out what happened. All right, we are watching the number 16 come around. He's going out of turns 2. This is one lap before the caution. And looks like he just got loose. As we mentioned early in the race, it is very difficult right through there. The number 16 just got a little bit loose coming off turn 4. And we got to give him credit for dropping down low and holding his brakes, waiting for everybody to get by before he rejoined traffic. We are back live. We work our way to the front. Looks like a lot of these guys came down pit road, got a fresh set of tires. 61 laps to go. That's going to put a lot of these guys with one, maybe 2 sets left. A lot of these guys will have just 1 set left, as we see Grant Enfinger currently showing in 10th position. And I can promise you, in talking to these guys, nobody is giving that pro driver an inch tonight. He's going to have to work for every single position. There's the number 24 of Nathan Myers, and where? Craig Janzik showing back in 12th. I'd imagine that's just a scoring glitch, but we'll find out here in just a moment. Did not look like Craig got into anything, as he definitely did not want to see that caution come out, though. He was charging to the front, and he was unbeatable. At least that's what some of these guys, I'm sure, were thinking the way he was driving tonight. Grant Enfinger, after everybody is pitted, is showing in 7th, but he is going to have to deal with Eli Childs right in front of him. He's going to have his hands full with some of these drivers up here at the front, especially that one in the 24 car, Nathan Myers, and then we have Robert Lawrence. We've got quite a shakeup up here. Nathan Myers and Robert Lawrence have the front row, followed by Kyle Spees. Is in 3rd currently. He did not pit. Those front 3 trucks did not pit. Then you've got Brian Lorenzo in 3rd, Kyle Spees is showing in 3rd, and then John Thacker is in 5th, Eli Childs 6th, Grant Enfinger 7th, James Harris is in 8th, Daniel Starner, Michael Potter is showing in 10th, and Craig Janzik is showing currently in 11th. So we will definitely see how this shakes out. As I said, those top 3 cars are on 32-lap old tires, so we'll see what plays out here with those old tires versus new. As they're coming to green, that 24 got a good jump, but he has to, because those 4 fresh tires on a bunch of those guys is going to make one heck of a difference here in just a few laps. The 24 and 34 have a good jump. The rest of those guys back there are running side by side. Here comes John Thacker, though. He is on fresh tires and closing the gap quickly. Very quickly. As they dive off into 3 and 4, he's already making a move for 2nd place, and the 24 is not wanting to see this. John Thacker will probably be making a move for the lead right about now. As they come out of turn 2, John Thacker's got a run down the back straightaway, dives it off into turn 3. The 24 does nothing for him. As they cross the line, John Thacker is in the lead. Nathan Myers in 2nd, but look who we have here. Making a pass for 2nd is Grant Enfinger. Looks like he might have been playing possum back there just a little bit, saving his stuff, taking his time. As we see the 73 truck come underneath the 24, moving into 3rd. That is Brian Lorenzo. In 4th place, Nathan Myers still trying to hold on some position. James Harris has moved up to 5th. Eli Childs is up to 6th. And number 35 of Daniel Starner is in 7th. Michael Potter was in 8th, but is still holding on to 8th for the moment, but Craig Janzik is right behind him. As they go off into turn 1 and 2, it looks like Craig Janzik isn't moving up quite as quickly at the moment, but don't count him out. He is setting up for a run, and he definitely is one to beat tonight. In fact, from what I'm told, every week he is the one to beat. As he's starting to make a pass, that 24 car is slipping back quickly. As they go through 3 and 4, we go look to the front, and there is the 73 of Brian Lorenzo trying to make a move on Grant Enfinger, looking for that 2nd place position. And that is exactly what that man John Thacker wants to see. 48 laps to go. He wants to see them battling side by side, wearing out their tires, slowing themselves down, and letting him get away. Looks like Brian might have backed out of it for a minute. See if Grant can help pull him up there to challenge John. And we are under caution. It looks like the 22 had a little trouble. Let's see if we can get to the replay. As we see the 22 back there, and looks like we had a little bit of a glitch, so sometimes that does happen. The 56 did not want to see that with 45 laps to go, but now comes some interesting pit strategy. The 24, Nathan Myers, is on pit road finally. All these guys up here at the front, they are going to be out for a while on these tires. Looks like currently we're running John Thacker, Grant Enfinger, Brian Lorenzo, James Harris, Eli Childs is in 5th, Daniel Starner, and Craig Janzik already up to 7th after that last caution. Looking to see if we can quickly talk to John. May have to get him on the next caution. Hey John, this is Doug in the booth. You got me? Oh shit.
Hello?
Hey John, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Sorry about that. So you got the lead on that last round of pit stops. Can you hold these guys off?
It's going to be tough. They got a few lap newer tires. Of course, I'll give them everything I got and see what happens here towards the end.
Well, best of luck. You got one more set left, or are you out?
I got one more set, and I'll keep it in my pocket till, I don't know, maybe 115, 120, then I'll go in and get them.
Looks like you got one to green. We'll put you back in your chat, and best of luck to you.
All right, I appreciate it. Hi, Dad.
That was John Thacker, currently leading the race. That was very cool of him to say hi to his father. John Thacker, the pace car is off, and he is trying to get a heck of a jump, but the 98 is not going to let him get away that easily. As they go off into turn 1 and 2, they do get a bit of a lead, though, on the 73, but as he mentioned, about these first 10 cars, 15 cars are on the same pit strategy, so we'll see if he can hold some of these guys off. And the number 98 is already looking to the inside as we come down the front stretch. Grant Enfinger diving into 1 and 2. Looks like he might know that we're back under caution. 40 laps to go. But Grant Enfinger got scored as they came around at the loop. He got scored in first place, so he is currently leading the race. And let's go find that number 21 of Craig Janzik. Craig's currently all the way up to 6th after all of his struggles. Let's go see if we can talk to this number 13 truck of Eli Childs. Hey Eli, this is Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So you're currently running 5th, and you should have another set of tires. You got something for this leader?
I'm gonna try, man. If we can get a long run here, we might be able to get up there and catch him. These short runs, a couple laps here and there, are really hurting the speed tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that. You still should have a set of tires. How late are you waiting on them?
It's all going to depend on what these leaders do. I don't want to get back in the pack and then not be able to work my way back up. So if the leaders stay out the whole race, we'll be staying out with them.
And you got Craig back there sniffing on your tail. Can you hold him off?
I don't know. He's been fast all night, so we'll do our best to hold him off. But I think he'll probably get around me here.
All right, man. Well, thanks for talking to us. And again, since this is a Veterans Day race, thank you for your service, sir.
I appreciate it, and thanks to all the vets out there.
All right, man. I'll put you back in chat. Best of luck.
Thanks.
All right, that was Eli Childs, the number 13 Air Force vet. And he does have Craig Janzik right behind him, so he is going to have a tough time with that truck. But they're all now chasing Grant Enfinger. As we watch him come down, we are at 36 laps to go. And in case you didn't know, yes, Grant Enfinger is leading this race. A lot of these NASCAR guys, a lot of F1 guys, a lot of GT guys, the physics in iRacing are so accurate. A lot of these guys use it as practice. I raced with Justin Allgaier Tuesday. Of course, we were playing around on a Pro 4 off-road track, but he races we talked about it briefly, he races quite often with his boss, Dale Jr., and they use it for practice. Dale uses it to help teach some young drivers when he's mentoring them. So a lot of these NASCAR drivers do, and now Dale Jr. actually works for iRacing, so it's only going to get better. And the pace car is off, and here comes Grant Enfinger leading him down to the green flag. He has a decent jump. Gets out in front of that 73 of Brian Lorenzo. John Thacker back in third. And it looks like Eli is already moving to the inside, and caution is out again. Looks like we've got a couple of trucks coming down pit road due to damage. And it looks like the 69 truck, Stephen Pless, is probably going to get a waiver in here momentarily due to being at the tail end of the lead lap, because he has the leader, Grant Enfinger, right behind him. As we were talking about, Dale Jr., he actually has worked with iRacing for years and years and years. He's been doing sim racing since the mid-90s, so he's been a big part of making iRacing great, and it's always great to pop into a race and see guys like him or Chad Knaus or Justin Allgaier or Grant Enfinger. Definitely a different kind of a challenge. It's always exciting if you're racing with them. I know these guys are all quite happy to be racing against him. As we see the number 16, Robert Wynn. He's getting waved around, getting his lap back. And we are starting to see some of that pit strategy come into play. There's Robert Wynn Jr. in the 89 truck. And now the question is going to be which leaders stay out and which leaders keep going or go down pit road and get new tires. Most of these guys should still have a set left. Even the guys that pitted in the early caution should still have one more set of tires left, so we'll see quite a bit of different strategy here. Some of these guys did just take tires. Some of them took tires on that during that last caution, and some have been out there for this lead group all the way back to Jay Culp in 10th position. They are all on 33 lap old tires. With 30 laps to go, everybody that just got new tires is, if they can work their way through the field patiently, they might actually have a chance, because these guys, after 60 laps on those tires, they are going to be hurting for speed. Definitely going to be hurting for grip. We'll start seeing trucks sliding all over. As they stack up, 1 to go. And we got Brian Lorenzo on the outside of Grant Enfinger this time. John Thacker and James Harris behind them. Eli Childs in 5th. Craig Janzik in 6th. Kevin Kirchar, Michael Potter, Russ Kilgore, 9th place. Jay Culp sitting in 10th. We're starting to see some different names up towards the front, but we're starting to see quite a few of the regulars that have been patient in the back and worked their way up. Here they come. The 98 gets another good jump on the restart. As he dives off into turn 1, the 56 right behind him. Oh, the 98 got half a second lead going down on that restart, going the first lap after the restart. These guys are starting to close back up already. They are starting to line up. We're not seeing as much side-by-side racing right now. But with 26 laps to go, coming to 25 laps to go, they will start getting very busy. As we see Michael Potter there, he started in 15th and has quietly moved his way up to 8th position. It looks like by his lap times, he's going to be moving up a couple more spots before this is all said and done. There's the 90 of Richard Fornshell in 9th place, and in 10th place, and caution is out yet again. And it looks like the number 9 had some trouble there. Let's see if we can go to the replay. And it does not look like our replay is working on that one. And we are now seeing all these leaders on pit road. I imagine we'll see everybody with a set of tires left on pit road now. As we see the 73 duck into his pit stall. The 91 falls into line behind him. The 91 missed his pit stall. He overshot his entry. And now we're about to see a whole different set of cars up towards the front. But a couple of familiar faces up there for sure. As they come back around and sort this out, we'll start going through the field. But it looks like the number 90 of Richard Fornshell is currently in the lead. Richard Fornshell followed by Nathan Myers. He led early. If he can get back to the lead, he definitely is going to have the most laps led if he gets back up there. Behind them is Jonathan Diamond. Once again, he's sneaking towards the front at the end of a race. We've seen that. We saw that at Texas with him. He was strategy and great race pace managed to get him all the way back up to the front, despite being hiding in the back for most of the race. The top 5 are Richard Fornshell, Nathan Meyer, Jonathan Diamond, Brandon Ball, and Grant Enfinger. Grant is the first one of the top 5 on fresh tires, followed by John Thacker, Brian Lorenzo. And look there in 8th place is Craig Janzik, followed by Eli Childs and James Harris. We'll see if these guys can get back to the front. with those 4 fresh tires. The guys that were on older tires didn't have a whole lot of chances with all these cautions and restarts. They didn't have a whole lot of chance to get moving and make those new tires work for them. We'll see if they have anything left in those tires to hold these guys off. Should be coming down to 1 to green. Yes, we are. They will start lining up double file. Looks like the number 90 of Richard Fornshell is going to be starting on the outside. The 24, the second place car, is starting on the inside. That'll give Richard the advantage on the restart. He'll go into turn 1. If they go in side by side, he'll have the preferred lane. As they come out of the turn, Richard gets a decent jump. Nope, he held back up. Lights are back on the pace car. Looks like Richard's got a little bit of damage to the front end of his USO truck, but it's not going to matter. It's short track racing. I would imagine that not many of these trucks are going to go home tonight with without a whole lot of damage to them. So we watch these guys come by. You can see just about each and every one of them has a little... Well, some of them, I think, just used one of their fast repairs by the looks of it. As we are 1 to green. And they are going green. Richard Fornshell gets the jump on the outside. He controls the line down into 1 and 2 and is starting to leave the 24 in the dust. But no, 24 comes crawling back on the back straightaway, gets to the inside coming out of 3 and 4. Nathan Myers already looking to the inside, but they're about to have a challenge from Grant Enfinger and the 17 of Brandon Ball. And the 24 gets positioned to the inside as they come off of turn 4. Will he take the lead back? Not yet. Almost went 3 wide through 1 and 2. Will they in 3 and 4? It looks like they're going to give it a whirl. No, they get the 24 gets down low and blocks the run of the 98. 98 is not done. He is to the inside of 24. Looked like he got a little bit bound up and just lost his momentum going through there, but he is going to keep trying. He is on fresher tires than that truck in front of him. The 24, Nathan Myers, moves into the lead, but the 98 of Grant Enfinger is right on the inside. He has not given up yet. And caution is out. Looks like there might have been some trouble on the back straightaway. Looks like the number 91 has some damage. Let's see if we can find a replay on that. And the 91 dove off into 1 and 2. Looks like the 91 just got loose, tried to keep out of everybody's way, and did a barrel roll. Fortunately for him, he still had a fast repair left, so he is still in the race. And he did a great job, Kevin Kirchard did. He did a wonderful job staying out of the way, not causing a bigger accident. Managed to get it straight and get down low before anybody could get into him. It was pretty close, those trucks behind him, but he held on to it and did a great job. Nathan Myers still scored in first place. Grant Enfinger's in second. Brandon Ball, John Thacker, Craig Janzik is in fifth. 11 laps to go. They'll restart with about 9 laps to go. Hopefully we can get that in under green. Craig Janzik currently in 5th, and James Harris. Richard Fornshell's back in 7th after the restart. He slipped back a little bit. Brian Lorenzo is in 8th. Jonathan Diamond is 9th. Eli Childs 10th. Jay Culp there in 11th. Michael Potter, Sheldon Pearson, Kyle Spees, Robert Lawrence started 3rd, back in 15th currently. He has definitely had some struggles tonight, but it's good to see he's still out there fighting. Stephen Madden, Gary Lynch, Russ Kilgore, Stephen Pless, and Kevin Kirchar round out the top 20. Just looking at the points for tonight, James Harris is going to be the big winner if things finish as they are. He is currently in 1st, has a 6-point lead over Robert Wynn, who is currently running in 22nd position. James Carroll and Craig Janzik are tied for 3rd. Craig currently showing in 5th. Not seeing James. I'm sure I am overlooking him, but so we'll definitely see some points changing. These guys are close as we have the 1 to green. They're coming out of turn 2. Looks like the 24 Nathan Meyer chose to restart on the inside. That 98 at Grant Enfinger's pulling back up to get close. 24's trying to hold him back. Pace car's on pit road. The 24 gets one heck of a jump out of turn 4. Got one big jump. He's got a lot of momentum going down to 1 and 2. The 17 of Brandon Ball ducking under the 98. And here comes the 21, Craig Janzik, already up to 4th and moving forward fast. Looks like the 21 passes the 17 to the inside. He moves into 3rd. And while Grant Enfinger and Nathan Meyer are up here battling for 1st, they've got someone closing in on them rapidly. Caution is out again. 6 laps to go. We will probably go to a green-white checkered at this point. Looks like the 22 truck was involved. Let's see if we can get a replay and find out what happened. And does not look like we will be able to see a replay. It looks like the replay gremlin bit us. .24 is still holding the lead. He likes to start on the inside. Grant Enfinger will be starting on the outside, I'd imagine. They'll have a green-white checkered situation more than likely, and Craig Janzik will be starting on the inside. The only one up there off cycle on tires is Nathan Myers, 34 laps on his tires. Grant and Craig both have 19 laps. Brandon Ball has 28. Then John Thacker and James Harris, 19 laps. Richard Fornshell has 39. And it may not seem like 20 laps, 15 to 20 laps is a big difference, but on a track like this, with this little bit of banking, they are using the tires a lot, and with this bumpy surface, it wears those tires down a lot. You can use up a set of tires very quickly. We talked early on, 20 to 30 laps, and those tires they just don't feel the same, and they do not have the same level of grip. And it looks like the predicted truck to win is the 34 in the chat. We will see as we have 3 laps to go. They should get the 1 to go after this lap. That will put them in a green-white checkered situation. Looks like the 17 of Brandon Ball might have a little connection issue. Looks like it's straightened out, and the lights are out on the pace car. 1 lap to green. They will go to a green-white checkered. So when they come down, the leader will take the green. The next time, once he takes the white flag and crosses the start-finish line, the race will be official no matter what happens. So even if there's a wreck, as long as he has picked up the white flag, the race will be over when he takes the checkers. The question is going to be, who takes the checkers tonight? We've got 4 or 5 trucks up there that still have a very good chance. As the pace car ducks off, the 24 gets another great jump out of 4. And look there, Craig Janzik is already to the inside coming out of turn 4. He's running. Oh, he gets into Grant. Grant saves it. Grant was still saving it. Grant pulls it together, but it looks like they got stuck behind him. Looks like the 22 is coming back off of pit road, and let's go to Matt real quick and see. Hey, Matt, this is Doug. You got me?
I do.
So will we have another attempt at a green-white checkered, or will this be it?
We have one last one, so there's 2 green-white checkers. This is going to be our final one.
10-4, thank you.
No problem.
It was always great to have Matt right there. I could not remember if they did 1 green-white checkered or 2. It was great to have Matt there. He's their race control for pretty much every week. He is a great guy to work with. Definitely been a big help. So they will get one more attempt at the green-white checkered. And I would be willing to bet that Grant Enfinger is happy to see that after the little problem of him and Craig. And I imagine Craig is just wanting one more chance at Grant. Craig really thought he had tonight in the bag, and as we said, he practices a lot. But while we're looking at these 3 back here, or the top 3, that 17 of Brandon Ball, he came out of nowhere earlier. He started in 10th. He fell back as far as 15th at one point, and here he is sitting in 4th place. I imagine he is going to have something to say about it on this restart. It looks like Brandon has been through quite a bit tonight. His truck is beat up quite a bit. Then you have John Thacker back there in the 56. We saw him up front earlier. He's on fresher tires than Brandon and Nathan, so he is hoping for that move to the front as well. And of course, you never count James Harris or Eli Childs out. And while we are looking at James Harris, we want to thank the league sponsored Green Mountain Grills. Once again, definitely want to thank them and say if you need a new grill for your holiday cooking, go check out Green Mountain Grills. I am sure they'll have one to suit you. Does not look like those 2 trucks got very much damage in that contact earlier. And as we talked about earlier in the race, nobody is giving Grant any extra consideration tonight. And we have the 1 to green, so our top 10, Nathan Myers, Grant Enfinger, Craig Janzik, Brandon Ball, John Thacker, James Harris, Eli Childs, Jake Holt back in 8th, Sheldon Pearson in 9th, Jonathan Diamond in 10th. Biggest mover of the night might be Jonathan Diamond. He started in 19th, currently running in 10th position. And we'll see if Nathan can get another good jump, or will Grant be ready for him this time. Looks like Grant's going to be ready for him this time, right side by side, but not enough ready for him. 24 gets another good jump on the restart. Gets the lead going off. This is the final green-white checkered. Regardless of what happens, this is when the race will end. As they come out at 3 and 4, it's the 24 Nathan Meyer leading Grant Enfinger, and Craig Janzik is chasing them both down. He's making a move. He drove in there hard and got a little too high. Can he make it work coming back off the corner? And we see the crossover moves in the blocks. The 98 is right on him. The 98 gets a run, but Craig Janzik is right there, going too wide down the front stretch. That is one heck of a finish. That is a short track race. As it looks like Grant Enfinger takes the win. Craig Janzik second. Nathan Meyer third. John Thacker is in fourth. Brandon Ball is in fifth. Then Eli Childs, Jay Culp, Sheldon Pearson, James Harris, Robert Lawrence. And unfortunately, I do not believe we are going to get to talk to Grant tonight. He was not in their chat. I will double check that right quick, but that was one heck of a finish. And let's see if as we see, some of these guys are going back out here to have a little fun. There's the 98. Does not look like he is going to do a whole heck of a lot of celebrating. No burnout from Grant Enfinger tonight. But I tell you what we can do is we can go talk to Craig Janzik. He finished second. Let's give him a quick chat. Hey, Craig, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Doug, I got you loud and clear, buddy.
That was one heck of a finish, sir.
My speech is gone. Let me say that. What a move by Grant on Nathan there. That's going to be one that we're going to be all watching for quite some time. And then I assume the chaos worked out pretty good for the rest of the field behind us. I haven't gotten a chance to look back at it yet. Dang. I think that was a heck of a broadcast. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, that was definitely a great race, and that was definitely an amazing finish. That'll definitely, we'll definitely have some great pictures of that for you. And it looks like you managed to pull off the second place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I do hate, obviously Nathan deserves the second there, but all that chaos, I again, I haven't gotten a chance to see exactly how we got messed up there. How we got flipped under position there. But yeah, I'm very happy with second. I had zero expectations about 7 days ago when we all saw that Nashville was the next race for us. I put in a good bit of work here to get this good and get down a good race line and a good tire management strategy, and it did work out. I just can't help but smile at the chaos there, man. I'm really glad to have come out on the good end of it.
Yeah, that was definitely great. And just for the record, all that practice paid off because your fastest lap was a tenth of a second faster than anybody else's fastest lap.
Dang, that's really good to hear. I messed up qualifying real bad. Real bad. I was very, very scared to be starting sixth on a track where passing is next to impossible. It's really thankful for how things worked out there at the through the first part of the race. Having that early run of 20 some odd laps got us a good amount of racing under green practice, and I think that did benefit. Now, granted, obviously, we didn't see too many green flag runs afterward, but that's okay. It's in the words of Mr. Hamlin, it's just short track racing.
That's true. And you're off to Charlotte night next week. You looking forward to that one?
I'm looking really forward to that. Mile and a halves are something that I think it is generally a kind of fundamental thing. When you get in iRacing, you get in a groove with all of the mile and a halves, really. Charlotte's up there on my list of favorites. I love Kentucky, and Charlotte I think would be a close second. But looking really forward to that, and going to have to not put in as much work to get down a good strategy for that one, which is going to be refreshing. But I will also, going to have to make sure that we have at least a little leg up on the competition there. How about all the Veterans Day trucks? I'm just looking at what I have on my screen paused. What an amazing show for the veterans. So thankful.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a great show and had a lot of great trucks out there tonight.
Indeed. I just before I forget, I want to make sure that I get my thanks out there to that James Harris made this paint for me. What an amazing looking truck. So thankful for Green Mountain Grills, our league sponsor. Would be nothing without them. Blackstone Management, Kevin Kirchar in specific. What a hell of a guy. What a hell of a racer, and what a hell of a business mind to be able to put this all together. And Ford Performance, love having them on my trucks. I like to keep the paint spicy with Ford. They look really good, but yeah, just so incredibly thankful.
And congratulations on your dad's retirement tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Dad. Shout out. I know you're already asleep by now, but when you watch this tomorrow, buddy, thank you so much for everything that you've done and will continue to do for our family.
All right. Well, congratulations. Go celebrate, and we'll talk to you next week, I'm sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and that was Craig Janzik. He finished second behind Grant Enfinger tonight. What a heck of a finish that was, too. That replay will be going around for a while. So from all of us at PTM Racing and from everybody at the Fast and Fun Green Mountain Grills Truck Series, thank you all for tuning in to this special Veterans Day race. And make sure you thank the veterans